Hello everyone, welcome back to Car Fix. Today we're going to be changing the brake discs and pads on my 2011 Kia Ceed. Just for some information, you're going to need a socket set with a 14mm and a 17mm ratchet. You're going to need a Phillips screwdriver, some brake grease to stop the squeaking, and something to clamp your caliper back in. I'm using a C-clamp, but you can get a caliper clamp, whatever. I'm using a bit of tissue for cleanup, and obviously the new brake discs and pads. So there's only 4 bolts to do this, 2 to release the caliper holder and then, or the actual caliper itself, and then 2 17mm to release the actual caliper holder, 1 screw in the disc, and we're ready to go. So we'll start off with removing the actual caliper, which is a bolt there and a bolt there. The 14mm bolts shouldn't be too tight, it's the 17 ones that might cause you a bit of problem. I'm going to need another 14mm spanner for this because, as you can see, the inside bolt is spinning as well. So I'm going to have to put a spanner on that to stop it turning to actually undo it. So bear with me a second. So I've just gone and got an adjustable. And there you go, you can just wiggle it out. That bolt is now able to just come out. I'll clean all this up with a wire brush shortly, but just hang it over the suspension arm so it's not pulling on the actual brake line. Now it's time to get rid of the actual pad holder. This is the bit where these 17s can be pretty tight. There is one, I'll try and show you. So there's one there, you can see it, and there is one there. So that one and that one there. Just those 4 bolts to come out. And we should be good to get on to getting the disc off. You might need a breaker bar for this, it depends how tight they've been put on in the past. And obviously a bit of WD-40 won't go amiss either. Got the WD-40 because these are, the other side come off so easy. These ones are well and truly on there. Also got a longer bar. I know you're all going mad because this is my torque wrench, but I have no other option, I'm afraid. That's it. Yeah, just needed a little bit more leverage. Didn't even really have to pull too hard at all. It's whether I can get it on this top bolt though. Probably need a smaller socket. That one is in there. Try a bit of heat. It's handy to have them propane canisters if you're working on old cars like this. I'll have to go try and find a smaller socket so I can get the breaker on it. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I have conquered the stubborn bolt. With a bit of heat, a bit of hammering and a bit of brute force, it shouldn't be that difficult. Honestly. On any, the other side came off so easily.
But basically just kept reheating it, and then eventually I ended up standing over it like I did with the breaker bar and pulling it with two hands, and it just broke the nut fairly easily in the end. It was just a very stubborn nut.
At the suspension bolt there is right in the way to get a socket and a spanner in. Obviously this one fits, but now the nut's backed off a bit, it makes it difficult to actually get the socket off. So I need to wind it back in a bit to get the socket off and then wind it back out. There we have it, the stubborn rusted bolt is finally out with a bit of perseverance. shouldn't be this difficult, but when you're filming, things always go wrong. Like I say, the other side came off a dream. You try and film this side to make a straightforward video to watch, and everything goes wrong. But I guess this is real life, innit? These are the things you've got to do if you're trying to do stuff at home on your own. So now the pad holder will come off, the pads will come out. Like so. Next for the disc, spin you around for this bit. So the disc has these screws in that you need a Phillips screwdriver to just undo. They shouldn't be tight. In the past, unfortunately, they have been rusted in and I've had to drill them out. But obviously you can see on this car, this time they come out nice and easily. No fight at all there. And the discs will just slide off. If the disc is rusted to the hub, just hammer the disc from the back and it will come off. So I'm just doing a bit cleaning up, so. That will do for that. Then the next bit, obviously to fit the new pads in, the adjuster, the caliper, needs to be pushed back in. So you can get proper tools to do this, but I devised a way to do it DIY, like it or not. A C-clamp and a piece of wood. So you put the wood in there, put your C-clamp on, and you just turn it in. I'll try and get a picture if I can of the caliper going back in. Not the easiest thing to do on your own, but hopefully you can see it. You just wind it back off. And as you can see, the caliper piston has gone back in, which is fine. Let's put that back over there out of the way for a second. While we get the new disc. So new discs have a coating on. dropped my mic there, but new discs have a coating on to stop them rusting in the factory, which you need to use some sort of brake cleaner to get it off, else your brakes won't work properly when you start to use them. You can see that it's got some sort of coating on. Just do both sides. And that's all you need. You put the disc on. Obviously make sure you line up the locating holes with the screw holes in here. And then you just put your screws back in. Now we refit the caliper holder. So I'll swing you back around to the other side. And obviously I've got my wheel turned out. It gives you a bit more space in here to work. So what I'm going to do with this is grease up all the brackets on top and bottom with the grease, because if you don't, you can get squeaking brakes. So just put one of the screws back in, bolts back in just to hold it. And I'm just using this, it's just old brake grease. You just put it on all the metal parts, touching parts, and it stops you from brakes from squeaking. Try not to get it on the actual disc, obviously. That'll do. Probably easier to do that before you actually put that back on. And now I'm going to put the 17mm bolts back in just to locate the holder. And as you saw earlier in the video, these do want to be done up pretty tight. So we're on to the pads now. So just give this a quick clean up. We've got new pads. So yeah, you've got the new pads. They come with like a little spacer on the end, so it depends how tightly you can put them in, but there's locating slots there and there. Obviously they only go in one way because one side of it's curved for the disc. Sometimes they can need a little tap. And that one is in. The inside one for these has this metal clip, but same again, you just push it in, and the metal clip sometimes can get in the way. So a little tap with a hammer gets them in. As you can see, they're in now. The problem now you might have is getting this back over the pads. You can take the spaces out, obviously, to re-space it. You can see that's gone on nicely. You just put your 14mm bolts back in. Right, after losing my 40mm socket under all this stuff I've had to get out, I've found it again, so just tighten it up. These ones obviously don't need to be as tight, just nipped up, and you're done. And that is that. If you like this video, if you like my struggles, it's a full video this, the in-depth of what can happen working on an old car, but really it's just 4 bolts, some easy in and out. On any modern car or newer car, this would be a simple 20-minute max job. So if you've liked it, hit the favourite, hit the like, subscribe, do me a favour, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.